Pooh Shiesty is let out of the label deal. They give it to Gucci Mane. They say, look, Gucci, we need you to sign this. But here's the thing. If you have on somebody, no matter what they do, no matter what they sign, that contract is not gonna count. No, this is not gonna count. Gucci Mane forgot to date it. Gucci Mane put the date on. Gucci Mane said, oh yeah, here the date right here. There you go. Then Pooh Shiesty and the rest of his folks robbed Gucci Mane and his folks.
Pooh Shiesty and my homies and shit, bro. This nigga like thought it was a movie and shit. He thought he was gonna just do this shit, then he would get away with it.
And them leave.
What's good, YouTube? Today we're gonna be reacting to the Pooh Shiesty situation. Gucci Mane. Apparently he kidnapped him, robbed him, did some shit. But we about to check it out, man. Video by Chevy. Check it out, let's get into it.
So Pooh Shiesty had a problem. If you don't know Pooh Shiesty, he's a rapper from Memphis, Tennessee. Now, Pooh Shiesty's problem is he was just arrested by the FBI for allegedly abducting and then robbing a rap legend named Gucci Mane. But here's the craziest part. Gucci Mane is not just a rap legend, he is a label owner. In fact, Pooh Shiesty is signed under Gucci Mane's label. Pooh Shiesty, he said, look, I don't want to be signed under you anymore. Gucci Mane said, so, yeah, the thing is, Pooh Shiesty makes a lot of money for the record label. He's a big rapper. So Gucci Mane said, why am I going to let you out of the label when you make me a lot of money? Pooh Shiesty said, how about we have a meeting and talk about it face to face? Gucci Mane said, I don't see why not. Well, let me tell you why not. You see, Pooh Shiesty and his father are heavily associated with the streets in Memphis. Apparently, Pooh Shiesty don't be playing about what he raps about. And he raps about getting down and dirty. Remember the song Back in Blood by Pooh Shiesty and Lil Durk? Well, that song wasn't for you or me. It was allegedly directed to a person he actually robbed, and he was telling them, come get your jewelry back in blood. It just happened to turn into a hit song. Gucci Mane said, yeah, that song did make me a lot of money. You think he upset about that? Let me just hire security. So Gucci hires security. He goes over to meet Pooh Shiesty. Now, here's where things start to get wicked, because let's just say there's a lot of evidence against Pooh Shiesty. So Pooh Shiesty, Gucci Mane entered the meeting. Now, Pooh Shiesty, some tell you, he was arrested recently for a charge. He's on house arrest. He walked into the meeting, he get a phone call, ring, ring, ring. Pooh Shiesty said, hello? The person on the phone said, yes, Mr. Shiesty, this is your probation officer. What are you doing in Dallas, Texas? Pooh Shiesty said, no, I was approved for like recreation. I'm on vacation, all that. The probation officer said, no, you're not. Go back to your house. You are on house arrest. Pooh Shiesty said, Probation officer said, boy, when I hang up this phone and blink 3 times, I better see you in the crib, Shiesty. Pooh Shiesty wasn't at the crib. How did the probation officer know Pooh Shiesty was in Dallas? Well, because Pooh Shiesty got himself an ankle monitor. So Gucci Mane said, look, we can do this another time, Shiesty. Shiesty said, no, let's just do this right now. Come on. They go in the recording studio. Shiesty said, look, I'm gonna keep it simple. You know, I want to be out of the label deal. Gucci Mane said, nah, we're just gonna keep it like this. Pooh Shiesty said, no, you're not listening to me. The two start getting a little agitated, things start getting a little heated. Shiesty looked at one of the people he came with, he said, go get me my black bag. Gucci Mane said, you better watch out. I got security outside. Pooh Shiesty said, I count about 2 security guards with you. I got some friends too. Another rapper named Big 30, Pooh Shiesty's dad, and about 6 other dudes rush in. They give Pooh Shiesty what he was looking for in that black bag, and it was he brings it out and says, Gucci, so let's have that discussion again. The rest of these folks are armed as well. They take over the studio, block the door. That's why that kidnapping charge is there. Simply put, if someone doesn't allow you to leave a location, that's basically kidnapping. Pooh Shiesty's father brings out a contract saying Pooh Shiesty is let out of the label deal. They give it to Gucci Mane. They say, look, Gucci, we need you to sign this. But here's the thing. If you have on somebody, no matter what they do, no matter what they sign, that contract is not going to count. So Gucci Mane says, yeah, sure, I'll sign it. Signs it. They record Gucci Mane signing it. They say, okay, we got you signing it, Gucci. I mean, you did it. Gucci's like, yeah. Pooh Shiesty looks at his dad. He said, this is going to count, right? Pooh Shiesty's father looks at it. He said, oh, no, this is not going to count. Gucci Mane forgot to date it. Gucci Mane put the date on. Gucci Mane said, oh yeah, here the date right here. There you go. Then Pooh Shiesty and the rest of his folks robbed Gucci Mane and his folks. Pooh Shiesty
and my homies and shit, bro. This nigga like thought it was a movie and shit. He thought he was gonna just do this shit, then he would get away with it.
And them leave. They're caught on surveillance camera leaving.
Crazy.
They get them outside in their cars. Pooh Shiesty's cars registered them leaving. The police were called. The police pull up. They said, what happened? They said, yeah, Pooh Shiesty and them robbed us. The police said, y'all do look injured, but we are going to need some more evidence. Let's look at the surveillance footage. They look at the surveillance footage. They said, oh, look, it's Pooh Shiesty. They called Pooh Shiesty's probation officers. They said, hello? Probation officer said, yeah, Pooh Shiesty over there in Dallas with Gucci Mane and them. They said, yeah, that's what we thought. They hung up. The police went to the local Staples. They said, boy, you won't believe this. Pooh Shiesty's dad was just here and he printed out a contract. It looked like he wanted somebody to sign. The police said, well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. The police looked at each other. They said, it's like them boys wanted to get caught. Ring, ring, ring. When the police gets an alert, he said, what this? Going on Instagram, he sees some of the goons out there posing with Gucci Mane's jewelry. They said, the police said, oh, you can't make this up. They called Pooh Shiesty. They said, Pooh Shiesty, go ahead and turn yourself in. Pooh Shiesty said, y'all want me to turn myself in right now? They said, yeah, just come on in. We got a spot for you. Pooh Shiesty rolls up. Yeah, the FBI locked up Pooh Shiesty, Pooh Shiesty's dad, the other rapper, Big 30, the rest of the folks that was with Pooh Shiesty. This dude sounded damn near giddy while he was saying this press conference, reading out all the evidence. He said, boy, I got a story to tell y'all. Now, side note, I saw a lot of people saying Gucci Mane, it must be a snitch since the police came in and did this whole thing against Pooh Shiesty. But what you got to understand is there were other people in the room along with Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane very well could have been the one that called the police here and he printed out a contract. It looked like he wanted somebody to sign. The police said, well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. The police looked at each other. They said, it's like them boys wanted to get caught. Ring, ring, ring. When the police gets an alert, he said, what this? Going on Instagram, he sees some of the goons out there posing with Gucci Mane's jewelry. They said, the police said, oh, you can't make
them nigga basically told on themselves. That shit crazy, bro.
This up. They called Pooh Shiesty. They said, Pooh Shiesty, go ahead and turn yourself in. Pooh Shiesty said, y'all want me to turn myself in right now? They said, yeah, just come on in. We got a spot for you. Pooh Shiesty rolls up. Yeah, the FBI locked up Pooh Shiesty, Pooh Shiesty's dad, the other rapper, Big 30, the rest of the folks that was with Pooh Shiesty. This dude sounded damn near giddy while he was saying this press conference, reading out all the evidence. He said, boy, I got a story to tell y'all. Now, side note, I saw a lot of people saying Gucci Mane, it must be a snitch since the police came in and did this whole thing against Pooh Shiesty. But what you got to understand is there were other people in the room along with Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane very well could have been the one that called the police, or it could have been the security again that Gucci Mane brought with him. Now, Gucci Mane calling the police, regardless, in my opinion, I'm saying this man is a label owner at this point. Like, you really think he's gonna let this one go? No, he's calling the police. And here's another thing you gotta understand. Even if Gucci Mane and the people around him did not call the police, the feds probably wanted Pooh Shiesty so bad that they couldn't contain themselves. They were probably gonna figure this out no matter what, either way. As soon as that man skipped out on his probation, I guarantee you the feds got a phone call. What you gotta understand is Pooh Shiesty allegedly was wilding out in Memphis and all that. So that's how they got him for that gun charge in the first place. So when you click on the police's radar, the feds' radar, especially as a rapper, they watch you and they're already compiling a whole case against you so they can lock you up for many, many years. They may let you go on a crime. They may let you go on another crime. But they always got their eyes on you. So when this report came out of
you celebrity, you a big ass target, bro. So you always being watched for real.
Pooh Shiesty, when
they trying to make an example out of your ass.
The police probably got called about this robbery. The feds probably did an instant backflip. They probably said, oh, we don't got to do all this paperwork, hawking them down and all that. We could just lock them up right here, right now. They said, for sure. And well, Pooh Shiesty is currently in custody. You got witnesses, you got camera footage, but by far the toughest thing going for Pooh Shiesty in this case is you got like 7 other co-defendants with you. If they get one of
that shit ain't worth it, man. He should have tried to fight it legally. He just got free, bro. Now right back in the pen, man.
Those people to flip for less time and say everything that happened, then Pooh Shiesty and a couple other folks might be going to jail for a very long time. Because the thing is, even though they have all of this evidence against Pooh Shiesty, well, if Pooh Shiesty gets himself a very good lawyer, the lawyer could be like, hey, you got actual footage of what happened in that room, or you got all this footage of Pooh Shiesty running around the city and all that? Worst thing Pooh Shiesty did was violate his probation. Hey, who knows? Gucci Mane could be making up all this stuff because Gucci Mane just don't like Pooh Shiesty. The prosecutor might say something along the lines of, what about everybody else that was in the room with Gucci Mane? Pooh Shiesty's lawyer will say, look, you just said it yourself. They were with Gucci Mane. They're just gonna say whatever Gucci Mane says. Who knows what actually happened in that recording studio? And well, a jury would have to decide. So again, the feds might do something like grab one of the people that were on Pooh Shiesty's side and say, look, we don't want you, we want Pooh Shiesty. We let you walk right out of here. Just tell us everything that Pooh Shiesty did. Or the feds might do something along the lines of just give him a really, really, really big charge that they might not be able to prove, but then give him another separate charge like violating his probation and slap on a lot of years for that. And a lot of times this is a way for prosecutors to get somebody in on a lot of jail time anyway. So if they can't prove that Pooh Shiesty robbed Gucci Mane, they'll just be like, look, Pooh Shiesty, we for sure know he violated his probation. We gonna slap on the maximum sentence for that. Or
regardless, that nigga going to jail, bro. There ain't no way out of that shit.
We know he had that with him. We gonna slap on the maximum sentence for that. Basically what I'm saying here is it just depends on the lawyer versus the prosecutor and what they could prove to a jury. We wait, we see.
That shit crazy, bro. He shouldn't have been in that situation, bro. Like, you can see it right here, right? In this video right here, Pooh Shiesty, he gotta be the dumbest rapper to, like, you should have just laid low, bro. You just got out, and now you back in, bro. That shit crazy. But y'all enjoyed that video, man. Please share this video, comment, subscribe, do all that. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. I'm out.
So I'll be special and I'll be rare when it's all and really